Hey, welcome to the Meanwhile in Andorra podcast, where two guys talk about football nonsense and everything in between, or should I say, international football nonsense and everything in between. I nicked that intro off Ricky, and I think it's probably going to be our intro going forward. My name's Travis Newton. If you rejoining us, and pass you over to my co-host Ricky McGowan.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ricky McGowan. Thanks for joining us again. It's great having you. Join us for the second week of supporting us. We need every support. It's great to have you here. And yeah, episode 2. So, first time round. You survived one
I've got the
episode.
bug.
So,
Got the
and
bug
got
for
good
doing
feedback.
podcasts now. Yeah, we've got some quite good feedback. Lots of feedback on our sound, which is what we're hoping to improve on the most. Big shout out to Tim, my pal who works in the media and works on podcasts and probably scoffed at how bad the sound was on our last one. So we're going to try and rectify that this time around.
For those that are listening, we want to hear feedback on the Trav sound this week. He's got a new microphone, for those who aren't watching. It's like brightly coloured as well. It's amazing.
I know, right? You can actually change the colour on it. I think you can. I don't know, we'll mess around with it. There you go. Red, red for Andorra this week, maybe. Change it every week.
That's brilliant. I'm basically using Travis as my guinea pig. If it works well, I'll get that one. If not, I'll get another one.
Yeah,
But
this
there
was
will be one on.
an Amazon special from Ricky.
So obviously, last episode, we did a lot of work on talking about what was happening, the upcoming qualifiers, setting the scene really for everyone. Although one of the things we did do was set ourselves some homework to really go away and
Yeah.
to work out how best to explain, I should say, the qualifying situation, what happens for each region, who qualifies, how many there are.
Yeah, we kind of messed
Should
up,
we?
didn't we? There were lots of us going, oh, I don't really know the rules here. I know that this team's beating that team, but I don't really know the rules here. So yeah, we both kind of told ourselves off and went away and said, right, we're actually going to do a bit of swatting on the actual qualification rules because they change a lot, obviously. And this year you've got the expanded tournament, 48 teams, which obviously adds more complexity to that.
Yeah, and lots to think about in terms of what that means for the tournament and in small countries and so forth. And we'll definitely come on to touch on some of that. So, shall we try? We have a crack at this in terms of
Yeah,
explaining what we think, provided Trump doesn't change the rules, happens in
yeah,
terms of qualifying.
yeah. Should I start with UEFA?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so in UEFA, I mean, in my notes, I've put in the rules are wild, and I think they're wild for one reason. So like they're pretty similar to what they are pretty much most of the time. So you've got these 12 groups, and the winners of each the 12 groups qualify. The second bit, which is the bit that's wild, normally what you have is you have your groups, and then you have like a bit of a knockout tournament where the winners of those knockout tournaments, and they have loads of individual winners of the knockout tournaments go through. Like we talked about North Macedonia knocking Italy out last time and Italy, obviously, neither North Macedonia nor Italy qualified for the World Cup. It was because it was in the semi-final of that tournament. So now you've got the same format, but then you've got this thing where you've got the four best performers in the Nations League. So it's not even the people that have like necessarily been in Group A of the Nations League. It's just who's ever done the best overall in the Nations League. So we could get like a League D team potentially in the World Cup, I believe.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
it's crazy.
yeah, do you want to go on Africa? What's Africa look like?
So Africa gets 9 spots at the World Cup, which is yeah, it seems a lot actually when you think the size of the region in comparison to others. But actually, the size of the region, there's a lot of countries in that qualifying section.
So you're
So
54
they
countries
get
in Africa, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So they get 9 spots, and then we've got who else have we got? Asia. Is it Asia? Who get? I was gonna say Asia get 8. I think 8 spaces, and then the rest are provided the host have
I think
already been
South
accounted for.
America's mad. It's always mad,
Yeah,
right? Because South America's got like 12 teams in it or something, and they always have like half the continent can go to it, and that's because of it's like always been like a bias towards South America in football because of tradition. So they just get like 50% of the continent qualified. But that's pretty much the same as always, isn't it? It's more,
yeah.
as you say, like CONCACAF's weird this year because is that with a mini tournament? Is that where they got the weird little mini tournament that people go
That's
through to?
yeah, the little mini one. Yeah, the Interconfederation Cup or something.
It's
Interconfederation
going to be
qualifying. Sorry.
all of the runners up from like Africa, Asia. Is that how it works?
Yeah, Africa, Asia, and where
And
else? Per
CONCACAF.
one team per confederation,
Oh, okay.
apart from UEFA,
Right.
plus
We do those
one.
anyway.
So this is where the
You can
rules
tell from the
about the
confusion on
confederation.
our faces already.
Again, so
Yeah, this is getting your head around these qualifying.
it's mental. So there's a minimum of six each from the other regions of CONMEBOL, CONCACAF, and OFC, which have been OFC have been guaranteed one slot for the first time, which
Yeah,
is obvious
because
where
they had
that's
to play
going.
a playoff against someone. Yeah,
Yeah. So there's the two final slots will be filled through an interconfederation playoff, which involves six teams in March 2026, March Madness, and it'll be one team per confederation, apart from UEFA, plus one additional team from the confederation of the host countries.
you just get one in CONCACAF anyway. Yeah, and you know what? Interestingly, as well on that, talking of the rules, I remember I talked a little bit about Grenada still being in it last time, and they're not still in it at all. It's because they got this weird system whereby they only played a load of games once. They
Yeah.
didn't play each other home and away, which is mad in the first round or something like that. So it's like it looked like they still had games to go. And then they went through to the next bit, and then they played home and away, which they didn't get through to. And we'll touch on the next bit because I watched a bit of it last week, among lots of other football matches.
I think you called it. God, sorry.
No, you're probably going to say what I said. Like, I said to you that my wife's going to probably leave me at some point if I carry on. You know, calling up Ricky, she's taking the kids. Yeah, she's going to take the kids, or they'll be watching the football with me. I was saying I've invested less time in university essays than I did in international football last weekend. I watched so much of it, and we're probably going to go through it a lot. But I sent Ricky my notes a couple of days ago, and he just kind of laughed at it. Just give me an excuse now.
It was very intense, but it was a great watch and great research because I was
Yeah,
much the same. And it was hilarious. But because I know you said it was like giving Champions League format vibes, trying to work out the situation,
yeah, because of the
and
randomness of qualification is yeah,
it was it was crazy in terms of looking at the Concacaf in terms of the group system. It was like, oh, round one, and it was like five teams in a group, and it was like round two, and then it was just a mix up of the same teams in different groups, and
really,
yeah,
really hard to
it
follow. Yeah,
really really hard. So there we are. So hopefully we've just added confusion or taken away some, but probably
yeah. We'll tell you
yeah,
who's
just
qualified.
we'll tell you who's qualified at the end of this, and when we do the recap. And there's quite a number already qualified, so that helps. And I think going talking about the 32 to 48, like there's people saying it dilutes the competition. You got more teams. Thinking about it, those smaller countries getting to go to a World Cup, this is only going to help football in those countries, right? And give
Yeah,
those players from smaller countries to go and play more.
yeah, absolutely. And as you say, they'll end up probably, and I don't want to sound Eurocentric, but they'll end up with European teams probably, and in the Champions League and competitions like that that will give them the necessary exposure to be able to kind of lift themselves, which is why I think you are seeing like teams like Italy struggle to qualify now because now they're playing against players. We said this before. They're playing against players that have played top level games against good sides and now know how to set up and how to manage games and all this other stuff. Which is why also you then see, and we'll talk about this as well, I'm sure later, see teams in Africa struggle to qualify because actually traditionally maybe the stronger nations the Nigerias and the Cameroons and that had the players that had the European experience, and the lesser nations probably didn't. But now they're getting it as well. Like, and you've seen it all over the place. Like, you can
Yeah.
probably find a player, in any confederation or any sort of smaller nation that's played some sort of football at some decent level of European football, or in South America or something as well. And I know lots of them play sort of like Saudi league and stuff like that as well. So,
There's no slacking off, is there? And that was the thing is none of these
yeah,
squads, the big names, can afford to play a B team if you like, or like trial players too often, like the old Sven Goran Eriksson days where you'd get a whole new 11 come out in one of these games and never to be seen again. It's like yeah, you can't afford to take your foot off the gas in this. I mean, and it's great for attendance in these countries as well. Is it Republic of Ireland recorded a record attendance for qualifying for them.
Didn't realise that.
in
Oh, right.
yeah, over 50,000 for them, which was massive.
Ricky's done his research. Oh, bloody hell, Ricky. I thought
Oh,
he was
I
only...
mean, I had to pull out some. I had to pull out something out the bag and something statistical related as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, it was great thinking about because then when you look at the tournament and the numbers, it was very easily to be like, oh, it's just going to be rubbish because they're just adding more and more teams to it. But actually, when you look at it, it's made the qualifying so much more entertaining.
No, I had my first look at the schedule actually the other day as well, because I was trying to work out how it all, like, in terms of what days I need to make sure I book off work or make sure that I'm not doing anything on, and the sort of like, yeah, I'll start that early, guys. And I was like, right, okay, this actually makes a bit of sense, and it kind of felt like the World Cup was coming. Started to
Yeah,
get early World Cup vibes.
it's definitely something we should be looking forward to, and because of all the new teams coming into it. So, last episode, the first episode, we spoke about the games coming up, Europe, the things we were looking out for, some of the things there with how Scotland were doing, how bad Germany were playing, um, what was going to happen with Italy. In Africa, we were talking about Cape Verde and what was going to happen there and the opportunity they had. Asia, there was sort of a few teams, it was looking okay and looking like that was going to be decided. There's been a bit of a shock there. So should we dive into what actually happened and
Yeah, yeah,
how this?
absolutely.
How
Where do you want to
this?
start? Do you want to start with UEFA?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah,
What any? Where I suppose we probably should start with the only team that's qualified, and that is England.
the magical England. Start the announcement videos and then the Great Escape music. We're there. No, we're probably the only team that actually, despite all of my pessimism, has looked solid throughout. Oh, and actually Spain have as well, probably. But like we did look absolutely no problem. And did you watch the Wales friendly as well? Blew them away, right? And
Yeah,
then just sat.
isn't that been the difference? I think I thought about when I looked at England and how we've played as well, and there's a lot about Thomas Tuchel in how he sets up teams. But actually, it's been probably one of the more entertaining qualifiers from an England point of view because
Yeah,
normally they are a bit more dull. But there's been more goals than normal. There's been
we did have that
missing big
rubbish
name
game in
players.
Andorra, though. That's the only thing. We did have that
Yeah, that
rubbish
was
game in Andorra, which
yeah,
didn't actually spawn the name of the podcast. We should have, but we didn't. But other than that, you're right though. There's been lots of, as you say, like we've actually played quite well, and I don't know whether you saw it on the subject of UEFA. And we'll probably cover this a little bit later, but Wales then went on to give Belgium quite a decent game, which then made me think in the context of things, like that Wales game is quite. I know I have no idea in terms of lineups. I saw the Wales Belgium highlights. I watched quite well. It's one of the many games I watched, but I don't know in terms of lineups whether there was a weaker Wales side against us. But yeah, I thought it got some quite a lot of context into sort of like our performance.
yeah, and it does. Because I was thinking, I looked back at the games, so there was a couple of games where Saka was missing, for example. We haven't had Bellingham for a few games now.
Mm.
These are big name players who you think we've still performed well without, and it shows the squad depth, if you like. But you mentioned the other team that are looking at, and perhaps will go on to have a similar record to England. And performing probably at par or even better than England so far because they're scoring a lot more goals, sharing the goals, and that's Spain. Yeah,
Yeah, got to be Spain. I actually didn't watch their game last week. What I did watch in their group, weirdly enough, and this was before I found the UEFA website. I've got to tell you about this, right? So on like a Saturday morning, I get up and I'm like, right, I'm going to do some research. I'm going to start watching some games. And I'm like, right, Turkey beat Bulgaria 6-1. I absolutely want to watch that. That's where I'm going to start. So I go and have a look at it, right? I find a video, and it's a man in the stands who just films the first 5 minutes of the game, just the national anthem and people waving the flags about, and no actual game footage, but it was packaged as official highlights. But me being me and being a weirdo, I still sat and watched it all.
I am gonna
But
watch
then
this.
yeah, I was like, well, I'm obviously going to watch the Turkish national anthem. Put my hand on my heart. Um, uh, I did actually watch the game as well, and Turkey looked all right. But then the context back, and this is the reason why I'm talking about it, is the Turkey beat Bulgaria 6-1. Gula looked good, Yildiz looked wicked, but then Spain battered them. So then you're like, God, like, is it because Spain are insanely good, or is it because Bulgaria are just bad?
And this is a Spain team that were missing some of their key players, like
Yeah,
Lamine Yamal. They had a
I think
few
Nico
others
Williams didn't
out.
play, did he?
Nico Williams didn't play,
He's
still
injured, is
out.
it?
Yeah.
He's just come back this weekend.
Mikel Merino scoring 2 goals again.
Front there.
It's crazy. Yeah, so that and they're not conceding as well. They're not
Yeah,
conceding at all.
interesting. That's another thing as well. Unai Simon set a record, didn't he? Is that I think he broke his own record for consecutive clean sheets for Spain or something like that.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
it's it's is some record that they're doing, I think. And so we've got England, we've got Spain. In fact, speaking of the goals, I think it was the highest. Germany obviously scored 4 against Luxembourg as well.
Luxembourg, I saw that. I saw that.
That
Nothing
was
like
an interesting match because we touched on it last week, and you were saying how poorly Germany were playing, and it was very easy to look at that scoreline and be like, "Oh, they're back," but actually, Luxembourg poor.
Did you watch it?
Yeah. I watched it, and they went down to 10 men quite quick. Like it was the 18th minute or something like that. That was it. Game over.
I know, and they were, and that's what I mean. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that it's easy to beat anybody sort of like 4-0 nowadays, but like a 10-man Luxembourg, and there was a goalie. I think there was an error from a goalie, a
Yeah.
penalty. Like it wasn't like they absolutely battered them. Like like I didn't think anyway.
No, no, I
And then
didn't
they went
think.
and sorry, mate, go on.
No, I just thought they played awful. I was like watching the game. I was like, actually, this isn't great. Like, was it they scored the free kick? Yeah, like you said, goalkeeping error, one inside the box.
If
I
they
was
got
like,
like a
yeah,
penalty with a straight red, like it wasn't a dominate. It was dominant, but it wasn't as dominant as I'd imagine it to be. And then
yeah,
did you see them play Northern Ireland as well afterwards?
yes, yeah,
And then they just about on that, didn't they?
yeah. Just was it 1-0? Wasn't it? Is that one? Yeah, is it 1?
Was it 1-0? I thought it was 2-1, but
Germany,
maybe it was
yeah,
1-0.
no, 1-0,
Was it 1-0?
1-0
Was it
away
1-0?
from
I know it was
1-0.
close.
Yeah.
I was looking
Yeah,
for the West Ham guy, Callum Marshall, for Northern Ireland. I think he might
oh
have
yeah,
come on, but yeah. But yeah,
yeah.
they didn't really, again, are Northern Ireland that good? I thought it could to kind of keep the Germans down to one, or I don't know, like maybe that's it. It doesn't play well for them.
Was it Nick Watermaid who scored for Germany as well? His first
That's the
international
one.
goal. So,
Yes, yes, yes.
which is funny in itself. Yeah, he
It's an
scored.
absolute beanpole.
It's ridiculous. So that again, a lot of goals. So it was like the highest scoring. I think it's like the highest goals per game for
In like a game
qualifying.
week or something like that for the. Is it?
For
Oh, really?
UEFA qualifying, yeah, we're at like is it? I think
Really?
we're
I didn't
averaging
realise.
3.27 goals or something for UEFA qualifying. They've made a big
Yeah,
thing
this
about
is
saying.
that man, this team, right?
That's it. I'm taking your job. I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Don't worry, guys. I will not be out. Well, Travis will not be
Into the
outgeeked in
Turkish
this.
national anthem.
That'd be brilliant. We'll find out if you actually paid someone to film it on their phone. That's
The messed up thing is I actually know the tune for the Turkish national anthem as well before that. But that's an aside. That's an aside.
it. Interesting fact: we had one download from Turkey from the first
There you
batch of
go.
downloads of
That's
the
me.
first episode of the podcast. So this is Travis's connections already.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we spoke in England, Spain, Germany, and there was a couple of others we wanted to watch out for. Italy pulled it
Yeah,
out
beat
when
Israel.
they needed to.
And now even if they were to beat Norway, their goal difference is so bad that they're going to have to go through a playoff anyway.
Yeah,
Almost invariably messed it up.
it guaranteed them. They had to win to guarantee them a playoff spot. That was it.
Yeah,
So they're by no means through at all, and it was quite funny because for those who don't know, I'm like obviously half Scottish. I remember just talking to my dad, who is full Scottish, talking about it, and he is a Scotland fan, and he was so buoyed by the fact that they could get playoff space, and he was like, "Yeah, we should get through the playoffs." And then I was like, "Have you seen the teams who could also be in the
yeah.
playoffs?" And it was like suddenly realization dawned for them, and of like,
It's
what
got them not
it's
go automatically.
not at the moment. No, it's looking because of the other results now. It's looking likely that they're going to be in their group.
I know they beat Belarus 2-1. But who was the team in their group? I can't remember.
To
So much
try
for
and
us
remember.
doing our homework.
It's Denmark and
Denmark. Ah, there you go.
Greece.
Yes. Yes, so Greece are out of it now, pretty much, right?
Yeah, Greece are completely out of it.
Scotland
Yeah.
beat them. Scotland beat them, and then they then went on and beat Belarus 2-1. There was Scott
Yeah.
McTominay tomato powered goal again to win it, and they did look a bit funny at the back. I thought Scotland,
Yeah.
there was I think there was an offside goal or something like that as well. I think disallowed a goal potentially for offside
Yeah,
and
disallowed.
this other stuff. Yeah, so it wasn't it wasn't completely plain sailing for them. So
It
it'd be
was.
interesting.
Go on, sorry. No.
No,
I
good,
was
mate.
just
Yeah,
gonna say it weren't. Yeah, I was just gonna say it weren't the greatest games from them at all, and it just sort of summed up their qualifying a bit in some ways. In they're winning, but it's not convincing by any means. Which
I mean, they
is
have to go. I want them there. I want them there. I've not seen it. I mean, we absolutely. By the way, I was even thinking about we absolutely have to do an episode on Scotland at the World Cup and talk about like Ali's Tartan Army in 1978 and all of the other like heroic failures, like Alan Hansen
Archie
bumping into
Gemmell
is it
scored
Graham
the
Souness? Oh, yeah, exactly. Archie Gemmell's goal, Graham Souness
yeah
and Alan Hansen bumping into each other against
yeah yeah.
Moscow in '82. Costa Rica defeated in 1990. They're like the masters of like the heroic failure, and they
Is
do
it?
it at the European Championships as well, don't they?
Yeah, they did it. The European Championships. What is it in France? Was it France '98 when they done the? Was it the opener? Was it against Brazil when the 0-0? Oh, that's the one.
Junior by Arnold or Savis Empire, showing off my World Cup knowledge now. And then I think Gary McAllister scores a pen to make it 1-1. And then they what's his name? Tommy Boyd, I think it is, scores no goal.
Void.
They draw with them not with Norway, 1-1. Craig Burley, little chip thing, and then it goes again, Scotland goes to the last game and it's not we can qualify. And then they play Morocco and Morocco rip them apart. Literally could have swapped that for any competition. And it would have been exactly. So yeah, we
We
absolutely
definitely
need to do an
got
episode on Scotland.
to cover Scotland in more detail. I
Yeah.
remember I texted you as soon as I saw the Scotland game and the goal, and it was a celebration from
Yeah.
Scott McTominay for
Ice
me
cold,
because
isn't
he
it?
literally like
So I've gone to Naples for a year and he's now just become like an Italian centre mid.
it's just the stature of a man. It's like yes, I
Yeah.
scored. Yes, I don't celebrate this.
Yeah, so glad to be out of Man United as well, probably.
Yeah,
The basket
it's
case
true.
that is, yeah.
As I said, he did remind me of someone like Colin Hendry had just discovered face cream or something and hair gel because they're probably you look back at Euro '96 or even '98, they're probably the same age or
Yeah,
nearabouts.
that's a good point. I mean, I don't, yeah, maybe, gosh, yeah. Don't think of it
Because
like
what
that.
that would have been Hendry's last tournament, one of his last tournaments, wouldn't
I
it?
think France 98 was his last one, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's mad. It is crazy. There's a lots happening in UEFA. There's still a lot of spaces up for grabs. A lot of them are probably there already. They're just waiting for their last games. So Spain, they only need one more. I think it's a draw to get through, and Norway as well. A similar situation. It's just about some of them are playing catch up in terms of the games they've got left to play.
Yeah.
So I don't think England will be there alone for much longer. So that's Europe. Where do you want to go next? Should we go Africa next?
Yeah, we can go Africa next. Africa was pretty cool. Obviously, the best one in Africa, we both watched it, was
Yeah.
Cape Verde going through against Eswatini. Now, did you watch the highlights of that bit I saw? Where it was like a jerky home video, like some guy literally in the
Yes.
stand. It took me, I'm not exaggerating, it took me about 10 minutes to work out who was who. I was watching it because Cape Verde play in like blue or something, and one of
Yeah.
them was playing in the other team's colours, and I couldn't work out. And then I was like, "Are Cape Verde in danger of?" Obviously, I knew the result because I didn't watch it live. And I was like, did they just concede loads of chances, or are they just all over East Swatini? And then I was like, worked out. I was like, well, they're just all over East Swatini because all of the crowd were wearing a different colour to Cape Verde, even though they were at home. It was the maddest highlight I've ever seen in my life, man. It was so weird, but great.
I'm so glad you said that because I did exactly the same thing. Because it was like, especially when we're so spoiled by seeing the kit colour usually in the top left
Yeah,
hand
yeah.
corner.
Yes,
And that's
exactly.
exactly
Yeah,
what I did. I saw the flag and I was like, this isn't going to go their way today. Like, and then when they
yeah,
scored,
yeah.
I was
It's
like, why is
struggling.
everyone really happy?
East Swatini decent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and did you see they all got a, the best thing about that was the government decreed that everybody should finish early and watch the game. And I wrote in my notes, where the hell are our going? Where the fuck's Keir Starmer? Two-tier Keir, as some people call him. I'm joking. But yeah, Keir Starmer, you know what you've got to do next year, mate. I want a day off work. I shouldn't have to take holidays to go and watch our games.
Yeah, you can't do what you did last time and just open up the pub for an extra hour. You can't do that and not have the day off work. You can't have both.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you can't have
That's
one. You got to
amazing.
have both. Yeah, that was
Imagine, yeah,
amazing.
imagine government decree that you just watch football. That's so like I want to be Cape Verdean.
Should we write to the what is it, Department of Culture and Sport? Should we and should we try
Ask
and get
for
a
a
petition going?
government position. Yeah, in Africa as well. So in my notes, I wrote, and I know it's kind of been a
Yes.
talking point over there. I wrote Nigeria potentially not going. Now I'd written that before they played Benin in their last game. Now they beat them, didn't they, and jumped over them, which meant that they now are in a playoff or going. I can't remember now. There's no done my homework. I can't remember. I think they're in a playoff now, right?
So they are. Well, it's because that rule change,
Yeah,
isn't it? So
it's because
because they won.
they played, like, they beat the worst team. They lost to the worst team in the group, didn't they? And then the worst
Yes.
team in the group got basically disqualified or whatever it was that happened with them. And then they said we're going to scrap everyone's result against the worst team in the group, and it just so happened that they lost to them. So it basically done everyone else over, but not them. And there's lots of talk. I saw another pod where they were like calling foul play and all that. And obviously
Yeah.
Nigeria, a big team. And I've written in my notes as well, like another thing happens at a World Cup, right? And if anyone ever does listen to this and bother to write into us, can someone name me a World Cup? Well, I think there has been one, but there isn't many where Nigeria don't play Argentina. It might be the last one actually, where they didn't. They both qualified and they don't play each other. They always play each other. It's just a thing. It's like they've got warm balls over at FIFA headquarters, and they just know they're going to pull out Nigeria and Argentina in the same group together. And you can go back through the annals of time and I could literally tell you straight away that literally every time they're at a World Cup, they play each other. It's mad. It's like the weirdest thing.
Is that one of those Champions League things where you think like these are going to be two teams always, but
Yeah,
there
they've
are
always played each other.
years Arsenal, Munich, and
Yeah, you always
we've
get
had
knocked
other.
off by Munich in the round of 16, didn't you?
Yeah, and we had that literally, and we were, yeah, for anyone that I am an Arsenal fan, and you always get Munich. Years ago, we had the Chelsea Liverpool in like 3 years with playing each
Yes,
other,
all
didn't
the
they? Yeah,
time. They could play each other all the time. Yeah, and
yeah,
so for context, I think France '98 they weren't in the same group because Nigeria were with like Spain, Bulgaria, Uruguay, and someone else. I can't remember who.
look at
And
this.
then there might have been. I don't know whether they qualified in 2010. I thought did they qualify in 2010? But every other tournament they qualified for, so '94 they were in with Nigeria, one and two they were in with Nigeria because we were in with them as well. 14 they were in with Nigeria. 18 I think they were in with Nigeria. They always get Nigeria. They literally, oh sorry, or Argentina. They would always get each other. So yeah, like I don't know whether that's good for Argentina, bad for Argentina if they don't go, but like yeah, they very nearly didn't get there. But thanks to some dodgy officiating at the headquarters, you're probably going to see a Nigeria Argentina group match. And I'm here for it, mate. I'm here for it. It's not a World Cup unless they play each other.
Yeah, just to explain, Eritrea pulled out basically of the qualifying
That's it.
campaign. So what CAF decided to do was basically take away any points earned against them. So
That's it. Yeah.
the teams above Nigeria suddenly dropped points, so it gave Nigeria an opportunity to get into the playoff.
Because
Um,
they hadn't beaten.
and it looks like between them and South Africa, and it was like looking like goal difference as well. And
Yeah, yeah, at
was
one
it
point,
like
wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah, Nigeria won 4-0 and South Africa won 3-0. And so it
Absolutely.
looks like they've got this opportunity, but it is via the playoffs. A lot of the African teams have already qualified as well. So
Yeah.
um,
I think I saw Ghana are there, aren't they?
yeah,
They've recently just come out and said that they're not going to accept anyone who wants to play from now. Because obviously they asked a load of people and they were like, nah, I don't want to. I want to play for England or
really.
whatever.
Oh, okay.
And then now they've qualified all these people like Eddie Nketiah. was like, "Ah, I'm gone in," and they were like, "Well, no, you're not, mate. You didn't come through the qualifiers. You weren't in the trenches when we were like in the middle of like Sao Tome and Principe or whatever. I don't know."
That's amazing. I didn't. Oh wow,
Yeah, they said come out and been like, "No, you're not coming."
brilliant. A fair play, to be fair, because there's other countries that would have done the complete opposite.
Oh yeah, yeah, loads of them. I think they did it last time. They called up Iñaki Williams, didn't they? He didn't do any qualifiers with them, and they made him play the whole World Cup, even though he's absolutely terrible. As an Athletic Bilbao follower, he's an absolute terrible forward. I will not change my mind on that.
So we actually had so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams already qualified from CAF with they are Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Algeria, Ghana, and Cape Verde and South Africa. So they've all got the automatic spaces now. And then, yeah, Nigeria are in the playoff spaces. So it's actually quite good. A good spread of teams there as well.
Yeah.
So that's
Isn't Democratic Republic of Congo in a good position? I think they might have gone to the playoffs. Maybe they've got some
they're
decent
due to
players.
go into the playoffs, yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be quite good to see. And I don't think we got any. So we know Cape Verde. Yeah, Cape Verde are the only time. They're the only newcomers out of that list of teams. Everyone
Yeah,
else has
that is true. Yeah, everyone else has been there
been.
before. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they've all been there. I think. What is it? You got.
South Africa, not been there since '02, I think, but they've been there. Is it
Yeah,
Morocco? Obviously, semi-finalists last time. Algeria are always there, pretty much.
yeah. There's quite a few there. So yeah, Africa's more or less a done deal in terms of teams qualified. We're just waiting for that last space left now. As we say, we're hoping that. No, not that there's any bias, but just to keep World Cup consistency, that we hope to see the Nigeria in there and then get
Algeria,
to.
Argentina can't start the tournament until they draw each other. They can't start the tournament, so they're going to have to be there. So
So, where should we go next? Should we go CONCACAF next in terms
yeah,
of
let's go to CONCACAF. Let's go to CONCACAF. Yeah, go on, mate.
who
Do you want to kick us off in CONCACAF? Watch the couple of games on
CONCACAF?
myself.
Yeah, go
What
on.
did you watch?
What did
What
I
did you want
watch?
me?
I
I mean, I
watched.
can tell you I'm watching CONCACAF. Go on. You tell me.
Go on, you go for it. You go for it. You go.
Well,
What did you watch in
the
CONCACAF?
two that stood out for me, I watched Bermuda against Trinidad. That game, right? Amazing, absolutely amazing again, right? Bermuda started off actually looking all right, and I was like, oh, Trinidad going to lose this, and then Trinidad scored a really good goal, right? So they like basically run down the right hand side, pull the ball back, good finish, and then Bermuda just imploded and scored two of the most non-league goals you'll ever see in your life, where one of them, the defender just gets caught on the ball and they nick it off him and score. And the second one, the goalie saves like a free kick that's so far out, it just pushes it into trouble. And they knock it in, and it's like, what are you doing, guys, man? And it was. I mean, obviously, I shouldn't be too harsh on Bermuda. They got further than Grenada did, but yeah, it was a bit of a mismatch, and that's put Trinidad in a position where they are playoff bound. I can't remember now. I don't think they're automatic, are they?
No, I think it. None of it's decided yet in this region, is it? Because
Yeah,
there's still
yeah.
quite
No,
there's
no, no.
another round to go yet, and it's all quite close. So no one's actually got through yet. So I think we don't know in that sense in terms of
Oh, right, okay, okay.
who's finishing
And then
where.
did you see the Suriname one as well? Against Panama? Oh, no, Nicaragua. Sorry. I can't remember. Who was it? Against Panama, yes. Did you see
Yeah.
that one? Where they
No.
turn up outside the hotel? Oh my God, it's amazing.
Oh
Honestly,
yes,
man.
yes,
Yes.
mate. They best trolling ever in terms
Yeah,
of how to react to that. Like yeah.
yeah.
Just let's go and join the
Well,
party.
yeah. Tell them. So if you haven't seen it, they turn up outside the Surinamese players' hotel, as you do when you've got a visiting country, and basically are playing like music and stuff to keep them up overnight. And instead of sort of like moaning and like going, oh God, like we can't get any sleep, all the players come out and they're like doing the conga and that. And then in the game, they were winning. And the only reason why they didn't win is because Panama got like a 96-minute equaliser, so it didn't put them off at all. Brilliant.
The
So good.
best thing in
So
the
good.
world. And it's something that you would love to see in like club football that happen because you hear that all the time. That
Yeah.
European football, that someone goes away.
Yeah.
Or even you've seen it in the
It's like
Premiership as well.
Serbia.
Yeah, playing fireworks by a hotel.
Yeah, yeah.
You just can't imagine any club football. It'd be amazing if you see your club players come out and start doing that because yeah, it's just the best way to
That's
react
really
to it.
cool. Really, really cool. Did you see there was Well, go on, yeah, go on. What did you watch
No,
in
I just saw highlights. Concacaf. Obviously, the time difference for me, for us both, obviously, it
I'm not
was
as
a hard
sad
one
as
to
I was
keep up
like
with.
so I only saw a couple of games. My wife's
I
staying with me.
yeah, I basically saw what was going on from afar and was like, no, I quite like my marriage.
My kids still know who I am.
Yeah, I no,
So yeah,
I saw you had Concacaf covered in that. To be honest,
I
you
did, I
were
did, I
like,
did Costa Rica, Nicaragua, brilliant, right? So I watched highlights of that, and I tried to find it first. I found that basically you can find them on the CONCACAF YouTube. But until I'd worked that out, I started googling, and I ended up going down a rabbit hole, right? And I find out that there's been like the International Court of Justice had ruled because it was like Costa Rica versus Nicaragua, and it brings up like a court case from 2018 where Nicaragua have acted unlawfully digging up land in Costa Rican territory back in 2010 that's gone to court twice. And I'm like, why am I not watching the football here? And I start reading about it because I'm a weirdo like that. And then I actually watched I watched the game afterwards. And Costa Rica, they battered them. They beat them not 4-1, I think, now. And it was 1-0 at
yeah,
one point, but they absolutely battered them. Like, they're obviously a very good side. But then you've got Honduras, who are actually still top of the group. So they're
yeah.
two really good teams in that bit.
So is this a case where really you only found the highlights because of cookies or something? Where you're looking at this historical thing, it comes up and suggestions like you might be
Would you also
interested in
like to
these
watch?
highlights.
Would you also like to watch the World Cup qualifier? No, I'm all right with the ICJ ruling from 2018.
That's amazing.
And, uh, and then the last one that I don't know if I saw it. I don't really saw it, but Curacao beat Jamaica. I remember you
Yeah.
talked about Curacao in the first episode, and I think they were below them and they jumped above them basically with a 2-0 win, which would be interesting. That's another one that's never been there before, so it'd be interesting if they were to get anywhere near it.
Yeah, because out of the six places that were up for grabs, it was like there was just they were shaking it up a bit because there was so many, just literally just all around that 7, 8, 9 plates. If anyone could still get in it, so yeah, it'd be really interesting to see if they carry on that form into the last bit. And then yeah, hopefully get through. Is the
I
idea.
couldn't even tell you what colour they play in, mate. So I'm going to find out though. That's what I'm going to be watching
If
in November or whatever the next international break.
if it's the same guy who filmed the Cape Verde game, we still won't know
Yeah,
what
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of.
True. That's a good point.
Hopefully, it's a different cameraman to that one.
Yeah.
Maybe
Seasickness watching a full match.
I think I said to you, the best thing for me was like someone had put in like fake stadium noise in the background of the
Is it?
highlights.
Is that what
So
that was? It was so
yeah,
weird, wasn't it? It was like the weirdest video I've ever seen in my life.
it's just hilarious. And I found and the highlights were they're on the FIFA app as well. Like if you've got
Yes,
the FIFA app, you can get a lot of these highlights. And so it was like
I've
this
since
this guy's
discovered that
getting
for
paid
me.
to do this.
Yeah, I was going to say, but I'm not sure. I think I prefer the jerky, the jerky grainy footage from in the stands. So I said I won't get my Turkish national anthem if I watch the FIFA.
That's true. We won't get our one download from Turkey.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, and so conscious of time as well. So we got Asia. We had what's it? I called it the oil derby. Qatar versus UAE causing an upset.
Do you know what? This is one of the few games I didn't watch. So what happened there?
I saw the highlights mainly because I was interested from a historical point of view, in the sense of like the two countries
It's
don't
got
get
more
on.
money.
Yeah. And it's really interesting. So I remember for work I had to travel to that region, and I was like, right, I'm in Dubai. I've got to go to Kuwait, and then I've got to go to Qatar. So I was on holiday in Dubai. I thought I'll cut that short and I'll fly to the other places from there, get it all over and done with. And it was all going well until I realised that no one in that region flies directly to Qatar. Um,
Oh,
because they don't share their oil. So they were like,
oh,
well, we're just going to shun you. And since then, the royal
no way.
families don't get on and everything. From that, I was interested in just seeing what the politics was like in terms of the fan base and the game itself, and if it was going to be tasty.
Well, I've just looked it up, and it was 2-1 Qatar with a red card as well. So like, sounds like I don't.
It was brilliant. It didn't disappoint. So and it was against the run. Like no one thought Qatar would win as well. It was all they
Oh
thought
right,
UAE would win.
a bit
So they
of
caused
smash and grab.
yep, smash
Sam
and grab.
Allardyce.
Mate, Sam Allardyce would have loved the World Cup to have 48 countries in it. It would have given him so much more talent to try and find.
Yeah,
Him and
yeah,
Harry
yeah,
Redknapp are just a
absolutely
few
been so
decades
on from
out.
that. Yeah, don't put it past West Ham. I'm sure we'll sign some forward that scored in a group match and never scores again.
You just got to beat Forest to signing them first. That's probably what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so they grabbed the qualifying one of the qualifying spaces, Qatar, by doing that, and it means they've qualified
Oh
for the
wow.
first time without being a host country.
With their own, oh, on their own merits, right? Interesting. Do
Yeah,
you think that's
so
got I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it would do, but like, do you think that is linked to being like hosts and being at a tournament? Like, you talk about people getting exposure. I mean, I don't remember. I know they were like, they weren't very good in the last World Cup. I remember that, and I know there were some players that were like recruited, almost like naturalized to play in that. But like, is that like a hangover from that? Like, is that one of the reasons why people talk about like the infrastructure and all the other stuff that gets built when you host a World Cup? Like a bit like America getting better at football after they hosted their first World Cup. Like, you think
it's
that's a
legacy,
hangover
right?
from them?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
definitely. Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
word.
It's it definitely has an effect because you do put the infrastructure in, you get everyone involved, and then the to see it takes a couple of years to see the fruition of that. I remember being there the year before the World Cup and seeing most of the infrastructure being built, and I was there exactly 1 year before the launch, before the World Cup opens, and they had a big celebration in the streets and in the area, and it was amazing. They had everything for
Okay.
kids. It was so family orientated. It was really good. So you could tell they were really, really making an effort to try and make this popular locally because it wasn't like this wasn't an international fanfare. They didn't have TV cameras from the UK or Europe and everywhere else there. It was just for the population, and it was really really good to see.
Right,
So
right.
maybe yeah, I think you're right. I think it is likely to be a hangover effect. From the World Cup being there, and hopefully because then you saw in the regions really it's not long after that is really you saw more of the Saudi league and prop up as well, the Dubai league prop up.
Yeah,
So
that's the thing. Yeah, yeah, and they're not the worst teams in the world because they're full of like Europeans that have been paid quite a lot of money, like maybe coming towards the end of their careers, but like still could do a decent job. So then again, the homegrown players are getting to play against half decent players and probably have half decent coaching and all the other stuff.
yeah, it's sort of almost it's like one step earlier than what was happening with US, right? When players started to go there, probably but
Yes,
everyone was going there
yes,
too late in their career almost to really have that
absolutely,
impact unless you're
absolutely, yeah,
Beckham or something. So you
yeah.
see it, and maybe because it's closer, I don't know. It's got a lot of money in it. It's got a lot of TV exposure than
And there's way
maybe.
more money. I think that's the thing, isn't it? There's way more
Yeah,
money than there was in MLS. So like people are just a bit like, whoa, I'm not gonna go there. Like, do you know what I mean? Like MLS is like, yeah, if they speak English, so it's obviously a draw for people from England and stuff. But like, other than that, it's quite far away, and they don't pay anywhere near the same money. I mean, obviously the big teams like LA Galaxy will pay you good big money, but like most players in MLS don't get loads and loads of money. And I don't know whether they've got like salary caps and they've got
yeah,
rules about how who and what you can buy and all of that. So don't they? So
yeah.
they
You're
kind of
you're allowed
restrict it.
one
Whereas,
player outside of the salary cap, aren't you, or things like that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Whereas in Saudi and that, they're just like, fuck it, let's just give you loads of money. We need to win the league.
Everyone is like Real Madrid. They could just make up
Yeah,
rules
or
and pay you
Newcastle
what they want.
or Man City or whatever. Yeah,
So yeah, no. So that was a really good one to watch actually, and quite interesting to see. And then you've got Oceania. It's New Zealand, as we said last time. They're qualifying.
Zealand versus basically.
Yeah, no surprises there,
Yeah, yeah.
as we thought would happen.
Did they play
Yeah,
in the lot? Did they play a game in Oceania this thing, or is it all done already? I don't know what the
I
situation is.
think they played a friendly. I don't know if they had a
Right.
qualifier.
Okay. Yeah, because they didn't play in South America, did they? That's
No,
the thing. Well, we were giving it all. I mean, I see Brazil obviously lost to back up my assertion that they are rubbish. They lost to Japan, and I know it was a friendly, but I'd like to think that you're going to hear it from me first that Brazil are going to have a terrible World Cup.
but they lost their last qualifier game as well, 1-0, which was the same time as the friendlies. Yeah, they lost that one. They didn't play great. So yeah, I think you're right. They're not looking good at the minute in either of them in that sense. I think in
Yeah, yeah.
my notes I did actually write down. I think Travis's prediction is looking good. Brazil, because of that result, are fifth in the qualifying, so they're not even
Yeah. I think
finishing
they still
high.
go through, 'cause like I said,
They still go through.
everyone goes through in South America anyway. But, but, but they're not, I think if you can't finish above like Ecuador and stuff like that, I don't hold up much hope for you to win a World Cup. And then that's no
No.
offense to our Ecuadorian listeners.
The only good thing was it meant Bolivia beat Brazil, so that gives them a chance to get into the playoffs
Yeah,
for them. So
man.
that was, Argentina lost 1-0 but they had already qualified because they were the top. Um,
Mhm.
but the probably big game there was Colombia with Venezuela. Did you see that?
Didn't see it. Did not see that. Good
It's
game
just
or
goals galore, 6-3.
nice
Luis Suarez got 4 of them.
1950
And
scoreline there. Both
it's
teams playing the WM.
That's hilarious. That just, and again, they were just they're another team on the cusp of qualifying. So Colombia just throwing in a curveball against Venezuela there, to maybe join the ranks as well in terms of qualifying. I think some of them have qualified already, as I
So
say.
what's the deal? Like looking at the if I look at this table now, we're both doing this now. So we
Yeah.
still haven't done enough research. Oh,
So
they finished.
they
Is that why they finished? Yeah.
yeah, they finished now. So I think you've got Brazil.
So it's Brazil,
Yeah, so Argentina, Brazil, Ecuador, Uruguay, Colombia, who have qualified, and Paraguay.
Paraguay, and then Bolivia are in the playoff spot.
Yes.
And I'll tell you now, if they're in a two-leg playoff against anyone, put your house on them winning at home because of the altitude. Because they beat
Oh
everyone at home, don't
yes.
they? Like it's mad. Like I think Brazil lost their first ever World Cup qualifier like in '93 or whatever because they played at altitude. Like it's wild. They just don't lose there unless you go like 2 weeks before and do altitude training and that stuff. You're never going to beat them at home
Anyone listening who
unless you're
bets their
from
house and they
somewhere.
lose,
Listen, I cannot be responsible. Gamble aware and all of that stuff. Ray Winston says,
gamble
yeah, I can't be held
responsibly
responsible. Yeah, that's the
when
one.
the fun stops.
Yeah. The fun will stop if you put your house on Bolivia to win and they don't win at home. You'll
And
be in more
you'll
trouble than
join.
I am.
Yeah, I was gonna say you'll join Travis in the doghouse. Yeah,
Yeah, in the car, sleeping in the car. You can watch Argentina against Nigeria with me.
filmed by our friend in Cape Verde or Turkey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so South America. Yeah, there's six teams in, and then there's the playoff spot
That's
there as
seven in the
well.
playoff, right? And they go into that tournament. They go into that mini tournament that you were talking about, right?
Yeah, March Madness. I was really joking to you earlier when I said, wouldn't it be great if they had that tournament in March? Because USA do this great big thing every year. I don't know if have you ever heard of March Madness? Yeah,
I've heard of it. I don't actually know what it is. I can't lie.
it's a mini tournament with the
Isn't it where
college
they do a
basketball.
draft? Oh, right. Oh, yeah, no, I do know. Yeah, yeah. It's like a bit
Yeah,
of an
yeah.
FA Cup of
Yeah,
basketball, isn't
and
it?
it's like 2 or 3 weeks of just this mini tournament, and it's like because obviously it's a big thing in America where you represent where you went
Of
college,
course.
right? And so it's
Yeah.
like everyone is invested because it's their college team. It's like it may not be where you live in that, so it's like the. We happened to be in Vegas when this was going on at one point, and it was crazy. Every bar, every restaurant you went to, it was just full of people just cheering this on, and it was mental. So I was like, when we spoke about this, I was like, wouldn't it be hilarious if they just did this in March and it was just gave us
And
a
it's done
sort
it.
of football March Madness, and it's in March. It's,
Oh, amazing.
so I wonder if it will get the same kind of coverage in the US as this basketball, or if it will just
Yeah.
go under the
Maybe
radar.
not, but yeah, probably would. Yeah. That'd be interesting. Obviously, you know what my March is going to be set up for now. It'll be not leaving the house.
As
One,
the
don't,
next
don't
little
invite me to
leave.
birthday parties or anything like that. We're going to be off the, off the table. Going to be watching Bolivia Tahiti in the car.
Why not? Why not? Why not? That would be amazing. That'd be hilarious. Well, you know what our special podcast is going to be about come March. We might even have to do a watch
Yeah,
party for it. We'll see.
yeah.
Um, so that's a state of play at the minute. I think we've covered most of them. As I say, there are out of the 48 spaces there are we have 28 accounted for. So there's still a lot of
20 to go,
Places
isn't
up
it?
for grabs. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of go.
No, I was going to say, interestingly, there's still loads of teams in Europe that haven't, like this really weird, lopsided thing in Europe where we played all of our games. And there are other groups that have like still got loads of games to go. Like, so it's really weird. Like, they haven't, like, some people have played way more than other people have. So, yeah, it'd be interesting because obviously you've got the break in November where you've got a few games to go. Is there two international breaks in November? Did I make that?
I think there's one in,
Or
yeah,
is there
it's
one? Was it in
November or
December?
December, something like that. Yeah, no, it's
All right,
November.
yeah.
So match day 10 is the 16th, 17th, and 18th of November,
Right.
and yeah, it's half the team, so it's the rest of Scotland's group.
Yes, there you go. That's what I was saying. Yeah, because there's loads of teams that haven't played. Right, okay.
Yeah, Italy, North Macedonia, and things like that. Yeah, there's lots. As I say, Spain have only played 4 games. England have played 6, for example.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, loads of teams like
Yeah,
that have played a lot less games. So like they're probably going to play twice. They will probably have more friendlies or so.
yeah. And that's why I was like saying earlier, we got to err on the side of caution for when you're talking about England and not forgetting about Spain, because Spain are making it look even easier, and it's just
Yeah.
because they haven't played as many games as why we're not talking about them in terms of having qualified already. They
Yes,
practically have.
yes.
So there's been a lot there to cover. We've done quite a lot in what we on 55
Yeah,
minutes.
we are, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, we're probably going to have to. I mean, we talked. I think we talked about this before. Next episode, I reckon we could probably get into the bones of like some stuff, maybe some retrospective stuff in a couple of
Yeah.
weeks' time. Talk about some old school stuff that we're going to go through. Not sure what that's going to be. I don't know what it's going to be at the moment. I don't know if you have any ideas for it, but I'm sure we can get something out there and let people know if they want to know what's going on in our heads, and mainly in my autistic, and I don't mean that in a bad way when I say autistic, by the way, my neurodiverse footballing brain that just remembers everything as you worked out from whether it was the last time South Africa appeared at a World Cup or whether Nigeria have played Argentina in a group match.
You did it. You're setting you up for a challenge Trav feature.
You know, I did think of something like that. Yeah, I did. If we ever get guests on, we could have like a thing where they can ask me a question and see if they can get me. But then they'll ask me some weird question and they'll get me straight away. But like I do know some, honestly, I know some messed up rant. Do you know the other day, right? I'll leave you on this, mate. I was out in the garden and I don't know why, because my mind works really weirdly. And I was telling someone else about this. And I was hanging the washing in the garden and I thought, thinking about nil-nils and how I don't like nil-nils in World Cups. And then I then proceeded to think of every nil-nil I could think of from 1990 until now and be like, so when was there a nil-nil in that tournament? And when was that? And I got to like 2014 and was able to like think of a nil-nil. And then I think it might have been 2018 was when I was stumped and I couldn't think of what the nil-nil in 2018 was. That is how messed up my brain is. Why was I even thinking? I'm hanging washing. Why am I thinking of
It's a sign that either you were watching too much football this past few weeks, or that there just shouldn't have been a gap when it was when you had
it?
no
Exactly.
football. You needed to
That,
watch
that's what
more,
it is.
maybe. And
It's the
maybe
Costa Rica and Nicaragua.
I did the answer. Really. Should we bring back what is it they did in the USA when they done the thing of challenge the goalkeeper, where we
What, the
ran from the
penalties?
halfway line? Yeah, the penalties.
Run from the halfway line, yeah.
Yeah, we should bring
That's
that
what,
back
you
for any 0-0.
know, he's a big fan of those. You know, he's a big fan of those. Tim,
Good.
our makeshift sound engineer, Tim, who's basically advised us on how we can make our sounds better. He loves American penalties. We talk about it all the time. He'd be up for that, 100%.
We got a few content in terms of so next time, guys. Thanks everyone for joining us. We've got a few things to talk about. Previous World Cups. We'll theme it up. There's a few different options we want to do. We want to cover certain teams as well in their history. We've also got lots and lots to talk about in terms of our host nation, the King of USA, as he probably like to be called, as well, giving us.
Might have to get lawyered up when we do that one as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are hoping to talk about these things, guys. We are just
Yeah,
aware we need to be careful.
yeah.
So, but we're definitely going to tackle some of those discussions and topics, and Infantino and how he plays into this as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think from that point we'll call it a day, and hopefully everyone will join us for the next episode where we talk about previous World Cups. Yeah, thanks, Trev, and thanks everyone
It's
else.
Ricky. It's great. Thanks. Thanks for listening,
Take
guys.
care.
Bye.